Yo guys, what is going on? Welcome back to another video. And today we are here with the week 5 preview for the Miami Dolphins. So let's get this underway. The Dolphins got their first win against the Jets in week 4. They are 1-3 on the year. So the 1-3 Miami Dolphins are visiting the 1-3 Carolina Panthers at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte for a week 5 showdown. So here we go. Tyreek Hill's season-ending knee injury. We talked about this devastating blow for Miami trying to get out of this hole, and the Dolphins are 1-3. But the Panthers, even though the Dolphins don't have Tyreek Hill, the Panthers look lifeless this season, especially that blowout loss to the Patriots. We could really be seeing a breakout game for Miami in this matchup. This is however, a really interesting game because both of these teams have been fluctuating wildly from week to week. But, you know, we'll have to see who does the worst out of them all. Uh, yeah. But, you know, when you're going into this kind of game, both of these teams have a lot on the line. Whoever wins this game is still alive, and whoever loses this game, their season is pretty much over. So, you know, and obviously for the Dolphins, this is a must-win game because you're trying to get out of this hole. And if you win this game, not only would it be your second consecutive win, this would really give you a shot. Because if the Patriots lose to the Bills and the Dolphins win, they would be tied at 2-3 with the New England Patriots. So just like that, you're already inching a lot closer in the blink of an eye. So, yes, again, without Tyreek Hill, they will have to navigate the rest of the way without him. And as much as it sucks, they gotta move forward. They have got to move forward from this, and they have to just keep it up. You got a good win against the Jets. I mean, they got a garbage touchdown at the end. I don't know if I really want to count it. Would have been 27-13, but so Tua Tagovailoa. Here's what I predict is going to happen in this ball game. I think Tua is going to outperform Bryce Young significantly. So, I think it's going to be a close game. I think the Panthers defense could give Miami a hard time, which is why they may even have a chance. But, the Dolphins leaning on run game with Devon Achane, Oli Gordon, and, you got the medium length passes to Jalen Waddle, Darren Waller, Malik Washington. Tua doing this would outperform Bryce Young. So, maybe the Panthers would present problems to the Dolphins if they were the team from 2 weeks ago when they won 30-0 on the Falcons. But my question to the Carolina Panthers is, how do you go from pitching a shutout to allowing 42 points against the Patriots? It's kind of weird to me. And, it looks like that win they had was almost a fluke. Because it's just weird to me how that just happens. Um, yeah, this is going to be a pretty good game. I'm going to be honest with you. I think this is going to be a very, very fun matchup. Two Alabama quarterbacks going up against each other. Both teams have a lot on the line. So let's go over the numbers. The Dolphins averaging 20.8 points per game, 188.3 passing yards, and 98 rushing yards a game. They are allowing 29.5 points per game this season. However, the Dolphins defense has shown some improvements over the last few weeks. They only gave up like 30 points to the Bills, and you only allowed 20 points against the Jets. And to be honest, it should have been 13 because the Jets got a garbage time touchdown. But they are progressing a little bit on defense. Tua looked better. He did improve against the Jets. And this season, Tua has completed almost 70% of his passes for 752 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 4 picks. Jalen Waddle, 17 receptions for 185 yards and 2 scores. Achan has led the ground game with 50 carries for 246 yards and 1 touchdown this year. Talk about Oli Gordon for a minute. Oli Gordon has been a nice running back too for this team. He did have a little bit of a rough game against the Jets, but besides that, he's been rock solid this season. I mean, this season he's only got 60 yards, but in every game he's played, he's had over 4 yards per carry as the running back too. He's gotten us whenever we're in short yardage situations, he's been able to help us when we need him the most. So he's just a really good running back to rotate with Achan. So really like what I'm seeing from him. In addition, Cedric Wilson is back. So good, because I do remember he was pretty decent. So Carolina Panthers, 1-3 this season. They have been atrocious, but we have also been atrocious. Panthers are averaging 293 yards total per game, 18.5 points per game, and 23 points allowed. Bryce Young, 5 touchdowns, 3 picks, 750 yards. They haven't been as bad as the scores look, but if you watch the games, they have been really bad. So yeah, I mean, we look at this Panthers team and they have not played well. Bryce Young was benched in that game against the Patriots at the very end. So that does not make it any better. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if it's Bryce Young's fault, because we saw how he played last year in the second half of the season. He looked incredible. But the problem, there's a lot of issues that this team has. Like, they just look sloppy on the field. They look bad on the field, but it's not like they're losing by a lot. Like, they got blown out against the Patriots, but they lost by 16 to the Jags and 5 to the Cardinals. So it's not like they're like, oh my God, it's not like they're as bad as the Saints, but they are not playing good football. So, we'll see how things shape out for the Carolina Panthers the rest of the season. The Panthers are actually doing well rushing. They have ran for 103 yards, but they are allowing 130 from their opponents. So this is a big opportunity for the Miami Dolphins to really run the ball down with Achan, have a big game for him. So see how he does there. The Panthers have actually really done a great job with interceptions. The Miami Dolphins have still yet to sustain an interception this season. So hopefully this will be the first game this season that we see them get their first interception. But the Panthers have, so far as a team, gotten 4 interceptions. So that's the only issue that really the Dolphins are going to have. Because, I mean, let me tell you something right now. First and foremost, the Dolphins really need to get their first interception of the season. Come on, man. But let me tell you something. In Carolina, they got fucking Jace Horn there, bro. And they got Mike Jackson. Mike Jackson is a pretty good corner. They've got some pretty solid secondary. Like, they're okay on secondary. So, they've got good corners. I'm going to give them that. Like, they really do have some nice corners over there in Carolina. Probably, I would say by far that's the best thing that they have. Chuba Hubbard, he's been solid actually, but I think he's injured right now. So yeah, I mean, they got a lot of injuries as a team too. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. I really thought the Panthers were going to have a much better start than what they look like. I had them beating the Cardinals, actually. I was very surprised they lost that game. I mean, the Cardinals aren't bad, but they always lose to Carolina. So I found it kind of weird they lost. So, yeah, both teams fighting for their season. Who gets it done? I have not picked the Dolphins ever. The only time I picked the Dolphins was week 1. That little drought is over. I think the Dolphins are going to get it done. This is the first time I'm picking them to win a game, actually, this season since week 1. The Dolphins are the better team on paper because, even though Tyreek Hill's not there, Tua is the better quarterback. Achan is the better running back. They have Jalen Waddle. They got Malik Washington. Carolina, they got rid of Adam Thielen in the offseason, so that's not making things for Bryce Young any easier. And they got I don't know how to say his name, something to, but they have a new rookie receiver. But besides him, the rest of their receiving room is awful. So the Dolphins' receiving room is miles better than theirs. Even matchup, I would say, with the offensive line, I think it's 50-50. But, they got Minka, which, I'm going to be honest, Minka has actually been playing some decent football this year. Hopefully, this game will be the game he gets his first interception of the season. I'm rooting so hard for that guy. However, player that I would love to see up is Zach Sealer. Man, you pay him in the offseason and he just hasn't looked. We haven't seen anything from him this season so far. I'll give Tyrell Dodson. Tyrell Dodson has been incredible. He's been proving his worth. So at least he's playing some really good football. And Jordan Brooks, that guy has been awesome, man. So he's playing his butt off right now. Rasul Douglas has been proving that he's really good corner starter for the Dolphins. So at least, that signing is looking great for Miami so far. Honestly, I have nothing poor to say about Rasul Douglas this season. He has an 80 PFF grade. He's been making plays. He's been helping us get stops. He's been an impact. So I really like him so far. I think the Dolphins are going to get it done. I don't think it'll be a blowout. I think the fact people think the Dolphins are going to kick their ass. No, I don't think so. I think this is going to be a relatively close game. I think the Dolphins are going to win this game 24-21. I think how it's going to structure is this. The Dolphins go up 24-21 with like 5 minutes left in the game. And then I have Minka getting a big stop for the Dolphins for them to win this game, move to 2-3 on the season, and head to back home to play the Chargers with a 2-3 record and a chance to maybe keep their season alive. So, yeah, that's all I got, guys. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next video. Peace out.